What's up, everybody? This is Lord Gates. This is Lord Gates from Rapture Radio. And thank you very much for tuning in to this very special reunion, this Zoom meeting. I have every single band member here from the band Seemless and some of their special friends as well. What's up, guys? We got Derek, we got Kevin, we got Jeff, we got Jesse, we got Pete and Dave. How do you fit into this whole mix here, Dave?
I fit in because Pete didn't want to go on tour, so they needed to find a guy. So they asked me to go, and I went out there and I played bass. So I replaced Jeff, I guess, essentially, and Jeff.
Yeah. So Dave. Let me just explain.
Sure.
It's kind of crazy, but Dave. Well, Jeff is a guitar player, but Jeff just wanted to join the band because we needed a dude. And he writes well and like it just fit in the band really well. So Jeff was like, dude, I don't give a fuck if you need a guitar player or a bass player. I'll play bass. I don't care. And then so he slipped into the bass position. But when we toured, Pete couldn't tour. So Jeff was like, well, I'm a guitar player. So then he would play guitar. And then Pino was like, I'll come out and play bass. I'm a guitar player, but I'll play bass.
So do we have everybody then? Do we have all the band members at one time?
This is anybody that ever played in the band, brother. Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. That's awesome.
Well, truth be told, let's add this. I have to add this. We were fans of Jeff's band. I'm still a fan of that.
What band?
Stoneface.
So good.
Yep.
We love his band.
I
put him on shows with us. I was booking us, like whether it was Medium, and then when we got to Seemless, like we love Jeff's band, so we were just like, let's put him on the show anytime we could, but we loved him as a dude. And then all of a sudden, it just kind of like it snowballed quick, man. I called him one day, and he's just like, yeah, I'm in. I don't care what I have to do. And then we figured it out, and then he just came out and played. I think he hadn't been playing bass, but like, I don't know.
I didn't play bass.
Yeah, you just did it for the.
I saw you in the band.
You ended up being good enough to go to Syracuse,
Yeah. I think I left you guys my bass gear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it was
you brought it to my parking lot at Hewlett Packard where I was working.
Well, the amp was Pete's dad's, the big amp peg fridge that you had to lug up and down practice space stairs. But yeah, the bass I think I left with Derek, so you guys could make it work. So
yeah, I still have the bass.
Do you?
No way.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah.
That's a great bass. Yeah.
So before Seemless, there was Medium. We'll talk a little bit about Medium. Now, Medium is Derek, as well as Kevin and Pete. And who was your singer?
All right. Pete, go ahead.
He used to play in a cover band with Derek. His name was Dean. What was his last name again?
Ross.
Dean Ross. Yeah, of course. Ross.
Well,
we go.
But
I'm cheating. I'm cheating.
Yes, Dean Lee Ross.
Yeah.
Okay, so Medium, I guess, just disperses, right? We'll cut right to Seemless.
Well, so this is what happened. So like Pete and I were in a band called Long Distance Runner back in like 98 and 99 with Matt Squire and our good friend Collins. I don't know, dude. I think I want to fuck my girlfriend. Dude just takes off from clubs. Like we don't know where he is. He's fucking his girlfriend. He was unbelievable. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think I'm gonna go fuck my girlfriend. Just like disappear. Like, all right, cool. We played the gig. It's all good. You do what you want, brother. But he was a character, right? But like me and Pete were working at Bose together, and in this band Long Distance Runner. And I went up to him at lunch one day. I'm like, yeah, dude, like, I don't know, man. Like, me and you like a lot of the same shit. I've been writing songs. When the drummer comes to the band, says he's been writing songs, a lot of dudes get a little worried. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know. I'm a drummer.
Yeah, it's not the best. I mean, I've had drummers come to me telling me they're writing songs, and I'm like, really, dude? And then I'm like, wow, that was me one time. I got to give this dude a chance, But I know how it is, But him and I started tossing ideas around, and then like before you know it, we're like getting together and we're writing songs, and like we're always writing 4 songs every time we get together. 4 songs every time we get together. 4 songs, and we just had a wicked good chemistry together. And so this dude Dean was singing for us, right? And we were doing pretty well, man. Hold on, because we got to get somebody else in on this real quick, because they actually managed us, and it's kind of funny. And I'm just curious to. He said he's waiting on the host right now.
Here he comes.
All right, this is going to be funny.
It's a pillboy. Man.
Medium's manager's coming in right now.
Yeah. What's up, man? It's a metal hippie.
What's happening?
Is this Medium's manager?
Oh yeah, managing.
Oh, what's up, dude? Oh,
managing all straight to the top.
Perfect timing. We're just talking about Medium.
Brian
man.
Fair, everybody. Brian Fair. Come on, everybody. Brian Fair in the hair.
We all love him.
Hi, buddy. How you been? Miss you, man.
Part of the incestuous Massachusetts rock and metal scene, one and all.
Look at all of us, huh? How many?
Exactly.
You've been in a band with like.
We're all Riff Eskimo brothers, you know. Oh, awesome.
So we were talking about Medium, okay, which is a good segue to Brian. Brian, you used to manage Medium?
Sort of. I had a promotions company at the time called Bullpen Promotions. We were doing like radio and press for like indie labels or independent bands or whatever. So, obviously I knew these dudes from forever before, but also Long Distance Runner, which was even a precursor to the Medium stuff, practiced in my basement, and I was living with Pete through all that. So I'd been following where they were headed and was super stoked and just trying to help them at first get, the demo out to like radio stations. And they approached us kind of about managing, and me and my partner at the time, we were into the idea, but we're also like, we're not trying to take your money because there isn't any, It's not about that. We're just trying to help them out. But then I do believe the original singer wasn't as into the idea of having full-on management. So I think I was just more in the wings helping out.
Wait, did Dean do that?
What's that?
Did Dean pull that off? Did he pull that fucking card?
No, he was more just like, I don't know if we really need management at this point. I'm like, yeah, I don't really know how to manage at this point either. We were just going to figure it out as we went along. So, I concur. In theory, yeah. So yeah, it was more like, I think that, but we were like straight up mailing out the CDs to radio stations and small metal and rock magazines and all the big, bigger labels and management, just trying to help them out and get things started. Because, man, the riffs were there.
Yeah. I was impressed. I went out to see both of those bands, and obviously every other band you've all been in. I mean, I've seen endless amounts of times. Even though I was from the Connecticut line, I was right on the Massachusetts Rhode Island border, so I always crossed over to Babyhead or shot up to a 490 Club or wherever. And one of the things that stood out was I remember hearing that there was this band that was going to be in the works after Medium. And I heard who was going to be in it, but I didn't know who was singing. Let's cut to how kind of Medium goes away and then how Seemless is born. Obviously, Derek and Pete and Kevin, you're all together at this time. How did Jesse fall into the mix?
I think that was, I hit him up, man. I found him. I had heard he wanted to sing rock and roll. Like he just wanted to do something fun. None of us wanted this to be like a full-time gig, man. Like we didn't plan on getting signed. We didn't plan on anything, but like I sent him. So I had originally when I was writing songs, I was writing in like a drop C. So I just tuned my guitar D to D and drop C, right? But with Dean, we couldn't do that. We had to tune everything up to drop D because his voice was so high. Okay. But I originally wanted him to sound a little the original way that Pete and I wrote them, they were darker, and I felt that like Jesse would be perfect for that, and I knew he wanted to sing rock and roll, and we were like rock on the verge of metal, you know what I mean? Like we had that. Yeah, that's a good segue, because you guys, like, I remember going to see a couple of your first gigs, because I remember, like, Brian, you'll back me up on this. If you were in the scene, you fucking went out to shows. You went and supported your friend's band. You're like, I'm going to go see Arise. I'm going to go see Kingpin. I'm going to go see, and then it started, I'm going to go see Eye for an Eye, whoever. And then when the 2000s hit and everybody was spread out all over the place, I was like, I got to go fucking see these guys. So I think the first gig I saw you guys at was somewhere it was in Chicopee or Springfield, maybe like Geraldine's or one of those. When we
And
were,
the fucking bill was weird. Like
it's all just extreme metal bands, and then we come out like, yeah.
Was that the
I
way it
remember
was
that
when you
thing.
guys first started playing? Was it like, fuck, these guys aren't hardcore, they're not really metal, they're hard rock kind of, but they're in between? How did that work out with doing shows?
Yeah, I couldn't really escape the whole Killswitch thing. I had tried, and for me, you know, I wasn't even initially trying to be in a band, but then I think Pete might have been the first person to reach out to me. And then I got the CD. Well, actually, I had two CDs. I got the CD of the demos,
Yep.
and then I got a D-Rock CD, which was a sampler of rock and roll to like show me where they're coming from. And there was like I'd never heard Cactus before. Cactus was on there, Deep Purple, and it was like such a cool, just different thing for me. And you know, the way it was pitched at me, it was like, hey, we're just gonna get together, drink some beers, play some blues rock, and I was like, that sounds fucking awesome. And it was so different from anything Killswitch. And I thought for myself, like, just to get out of the spotlight, because I was in a really fucked up place in my head, it'd be a fun thing to do. But we couldn't escape that Killswitch thing. People, when we first initially came on the scene, people were expecting me to do the whole Killswitch thing. And there was just a touch of the screaming, but I really wanted to sing more. I wasn't, if you can listen to those CDs, like my screaming is weak. I wasn't even trying to do that shit.
Yeah.
It just was kind of there to like compensate for the fact I couldn't hit really high notes like I wanted to.
Yeah, that's the ultimate move right there.
Just drop it down.
Yeah, hit the notes, just scream it out, man.
The other problem was too, like, well, it wasn't a problem, but like I had played with Shadows Fall for a year. I didn't join the band. They asked me to, and I was like, I got this band I've been working on. It's a rock and roll band. It was medium at the time, and I just really need to see this through. Like I can't let it go. So that's the whole reason I didn't join Shadows Fall. But then, like I remember one show where it was like X Shadows Fall. I was like, what the fuck? Why are people doing that? And then it took off. So it was like, now we got X Killswitch, X Shadows Fall, right. and it's a fucking rock.
What
band.
about X Overcast?
Like, whoa, it's double chords, match chords.
Well, that would have only hurt us more.
Where's the love for Overcast? What the fuck, man?
The Killswitch thing made more sense from a mathematical standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's taller.
Yeah, ex-members of Overcast are like, oh god, we got to avoid that one, man. That's wrong. Massachusetts was like that anyway. You couldn't get away from being in those extreme shows but that was kind of how things were booked back then anyway. Like everyone thought like, we all like these bands, it'll be cool. And the audience is like, nah, we're just gonna clown on the rock band. You're like, damn it, you know.
All right, so everybody, so you form, you start practicing, and then about what point, how far into Seamless's birth did you guys decide to make this? And look, it's an original. Oh
shit.
Yeah. You want to know why? Because I'm old. Yeah. When and I never throw anything away. When did that start? When did you decide you're going to start recording?
That was pretty quick, Kevin. Like
we actually we had written some new stuff while we were still medium, and we did some kind of demos of some tunes. It actually sounded really good. Like I remember the rough mixes were sounding really good, and I think that's the stuff that we gave to Jesse to write to. We didn't get together as much as we wanted to. Jesse was kind of far away from where we were practicing and stuff, so we sent him some recordings to write to. And I think we would get together at least once every few weeks to kind of work on stuff. And, you know, some songs actually were just written in the practice space and came super easy. I think Lay My Burden Down was one of those tunes that Pete and Derek had it done. And Jesse just came and started fucking singing on it. And the thing was done in an afternoon. And, you know, some stuff happened spontaneously like that. But we did have, I want to say 5 or 6 tunes, kind of demo versions of those that we sent to Jesse, if I remember correctly.
Kevin, you were actually co-producer on this album, is that correct?
Yeah. So we did this at a studio that I was managing called Blue Jay.
That place is amazing.
Yeah, it was a good studio. It was.
Where was that at? Where was that?
It's in Carlisle, Mass. Okay. It's in the middle of the woods. It's built underground in a hill. It was built in 1980. One of the first bands in there was Aerosmith. And then they put a really nice console in there in 1985. So it became like a legit studio. And then by the time I got involved, I had met a guy at a wedding who was a producer, mostly hip hop and R&B. And he bought the studio with one of the Backstreet Boys. They shut it down for a year, redid the whole thing, spent a ton of money. So, you know, I definitely benefited from that because I could use the downtime to work on other projects. And that's how we got this done. I'll let you guys talk about it too. But I mean, from what I remember, we went in for one weekend and nailed all the basic tracks. A lot of that stuff is, you know, the drums, guitar, and bass is played live.
Oh, wow.
We went back and did some fixes, some overdubs, laid some extra guitars on it. And then we had that stuff ready in a weekend. And then Jesse and I did vocals for probably like 5 or 6 months, like as often as he could get up. We would do like 3-4 hour sessions at a time and just get the vocals done. And then I think we had like a full week of studio downtime to actually mix that album. So me and my colleague Will, who was an engineer at the studio, we were doing that thing for like 10 hours a day for like 7 days.
Wow.
So I probably heard those songs more than you guys, but it was just so good to have that amount of time to really dial in those mixes. And it's a good sounding record. And from what I've heard of Derek playing the vinyl, it sounds phenomenal. So
for Derek and for Kevin and for Pete, do you guys remember what type of gear you guys were using at the time for recording?
I remember exactly what I was using.
Yeah, I've had the same amp since '93, so I can. Yeah.
What were you guys? For the for the tech nerds out there, let's spill the.
It's a dual rectifier, or yeah. I bought it brand new in I think '93 or '94, and same red SG I've always had.
I think we did a lot of stuff with the Les Paul though too, Pete, with the black one.
Oh yeah, I might have had a Les Paul. Yeah. Actually,
Was that the one you left out in front of my house and someone swooped that time before the show? Was that?
No. I did leave it in front of the house, but it didn't get stolen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like leaving your fucking bike out front. Don't leave your bike in the driveway, Pete. Don't leave
He left his car in Rhode Island one time, and my wife and I drove him around for fucking 2 hours trying to find it, and he couldn't find it. Like he's like, dude, I can't go home to my wife. She's gonna fucking kill me. You gotta keep driving. And we were like, dude,
sweet, dude.
7 times. He's
It's like a
no.
weeknight show too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we went and saw Sunny Day Real Estate on the week.
Yeah.
It was a weeknight. We're all working. And like
Babyhead probably or Lupo's.
Lupos.
You were there too, right,
there.
Jesse?
I was there. Yep.
Yeah. And like, we went round. I stopped in front. I said, dude, all right, let's replay the night. You come in this direction from where? Literally did this. Jeremy Enix out there were like, oh, hey, man, what's up? Great to meet you. Great show tonight. Thank you. But we're looking for my friend's car. We got to go. Okay.
Have you seen a Ford Focus?
Yeah, there's one over there. There's one over there. There's one over there. There's one.
We had the band Ford Focus, and I think every one of us had a Ford Focus. And then, but we're driving. And finally, like, we had listened to Ritual, Deal, or Habitual like 3 times in its entirety, which is at least 2.5 hours. And he goes, go down this road. And we go down the store. He's like, there it is. It was like, fucking, all right, Pete.
Get out. I'll fucking call you when I get home.
Yeah, let me know when you get home. Like, and we still had to drive back to Massachusetts.
Oh, man. Fuck.
Oh, that was awesome.
So Derek, what were you using for drums for recording?
So I hadn't had any endorsements yet or anything. By the way, when we were in Medium, since Brian's still over there, Brian got me my first actual endorsement with the Meinl cymbals, and they were still shipping stuff from Germany. Like
those were the original German style ones where you were the second, probably U.S. endorsement. Like Bittner was the first, and then you came in and. Yeah,
that was the second.
Those are the magic I was working behind the scenes, like, so I can get you cymbals.
I know.
Wizard power.
Oh, you want a record deal?
Get you 25% off guitar strings.
Awesome, but I am gonna dip out as you guys move into the future of Seemless. But I'm glad I was able to add my 2 cents. But I will also add that Seemless had such a great bridge, because if you look at where even metalcore started to go in the mid 2000s and beyond, everyone was like, yo, rock and roll is the way to go. And you guys were just years ahead of that move in that scene, because you're like, we're not going to pretend to do the metalcore part and then go rock and roll. We're just gonna play rock and roll. The rest of the other bands were sounding like, it takes a few of those riffs. You know, it was a great bridge at that time, and it shows like a great kind of progression from that, you know, that whole scene. But anyway, get the vinyl. It's killer.
Dude,
We'll see y'all. Love you,
Thanks,
dudes.
Brian.
Hey,
Good to
Brian.
see you, Brian.
Miss you,
Brother.
man.
Goodbye.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Mr. Brian Fair has left the building.
Man, that was
So,
awesome.
did we get to the drums? What were you fucking playing for drums? I'm curious. I'm a
Oh, yeah.
fucking drummer.
I
I
didn't
want.
have a drum endorsement yet, though. So I know
okay.
I had this Yamaha. I had a it was a
All-Star.
huh?
All-Star.
No. It was a Yamaha like a Studio Series kick drum. It was a 16 by 24, and it was made out of I believe it was oak. Then I had Noble and Cooley. No, I was with Noble and Cooley then. So I had Noble and Cooley toms that I used, and all vinyl cymbals because I was vinyl at the time. So, but yeah, it was a weird hybrid kit that I had put together, and I was using that during the medium days, and then like that's when I ended up. I pulled that all together. I had a bunch of drums. Like at one point, I was sitting on like 7 kits, so I would just pull what I wanted. I got with Gretsch, and Gretsch like set me up really nice, and had everything from 26, 24-inch kick drums and a bunch of 22s that I was using with Unearth. And but when I was recording with Seemless, anytime like it was a big kick drum because I wanted it to sound monstrous. So
Yeah, that was the sound on the album was just monstrous and full. Some blues on there. You know, I was very curious to figure out how far along the Seemless road you guys ended up getting the record re-released through Equal Vision, or how you got involved with Equal Vision.
So that was
Linwood, right? The dude from
so the dude from Losing Face who had put out the first record worked at Equal Vision making T-shirts. The owner of Equal Vision, Steve, who still owns it from what I know, he's the Krishna guy.
Yeah, he's still there. Yep.
Steve Reddy, right? He was so good to us, man. He did everything he could, but he loved the band. Like he was just like, dude, like what is this? And that's when Archangel was our manager, and like I started being like, I managed us through the whole beginning of the band. Like I tour managed us. I'm the one that went to AAA. Like, hey, these are the stops on tour. I need you to make flip books for me because we need to know where we're going. You know, we don't have MapQuest or Google Maps or Waze or anything yet. So I had to, that was my baby band, dude. Like that band was my baby, and I was doing everything I could for us at all times. I mean, you could talk to my wife, and there were many times she was like, dude, like we don't have the money for you to put into this. We don't have the time, like, but she stood by us because like she cared that I had this and it was going well. So we didn't try to do anything. Everything just so happened organically for us. And like we said, we were in that studio for a weekend, bro, banged out those tracks live. There's no click track. I think there's click track on Endless, I believe, Kevin, but that was it, just the beginning to get like a pulse. And then we pulled it out because we were like, man, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Was there a reason why the song Haze was omitted on the Equal Vision release?
It's my fault.
It's your fault? Oh.
First full song I ever wrote, and I thought it sounded like shit. I was self-conscious. I thought it was just a dumb song. Like that was all me though. Like it just was the first like full song I ever went to Pete with from front to back. And I just thought it was like, it could be, I mean, we have better stuff. And then all of a sudden, all these people were asking me where it was. And I was like, wow, that's weird. I re-listened to it and I was like, that's not that bad. Let's put it on the record and let everybody like what they want, So I was I was happy that was on the hard drive I had because, dude, to get this on vinyl, I had to pull apart a hard drive and bring it to someone else because the hard drive wasn't working. He had to pull all of the files out of it. So this almost didn't happen.
Oof.
Yeah.
Did you, so once the album was out, what was the response from people hearing it? I mean, you were selling it at shows, obviously, right? Is that the first time it was going out?
The first one we were selling at shows. The second one we were getting to sell for tour support. Like, so we can start like bridging over to like, all right, we never wanted to tour. not any of us. We'd go. I remember going on AAF on Harder Faster with Mike Shue.
Yeah.
He's like, so dude, like we love this band, and like they got behind us, dude. Like when the second version came out. So Columbia is all right. How is it? All right. We should talk about that too. Because we played for the Suits one night.
Oh God.
Wow. That's fun, huh? Isn't that fun?
Oh my Lord. Poor Kevin. Sorry you weren't there for this, but Jeff throws his fucking back out like Pino right now, right?
During the set.
During the set.
Oh shit.
In
We would have never known.
SIR Studios in New York.
We were in SIR Studios, like all these dudes with suits on their phones, and like we got to play 3 songs and just bang them out like we're in front of fucking an arena of people. They want to put us out. Matt Pinfield wants to sign us. He had come up to the Lucky Dog and saw us one night.
My God.
Yeah, remember he was coked up in the girls' bathroom. Went to the wrong bathroom to do his stuff.
Stuff.
Yeah, I got stories, but I won't.
Come on, Jesse.
I don't want to embarrass
This is purging. We're purging everything.
He was a mess. I'll just say that.
Like
Matt
a
was a mess back then.
I met him a couple times. I understand completely.
Yeah.
So Jeff's back is out, and you guys are playing at where was this? This is a Lucky Dog, right? No. This is New York.
Yeah, so they had come to see us at a show.
Where?
And then they're like, all right, we want you guys like next week, down at SIR Studios, and you're going to play for the Suits. And we were like, all right. So we go down, we play. Jeff throws out his back. We didn't even know. Like, he's still jamming his ass off. And then they take us out. We took us to this restaurant and like banged out like well over $1,000, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. It was just anything we wanted. Like, well, you guys are going to be the next Soundgarden. I had a voicemail for years on my phone. Pinfield and this guy, Joe Guzik, his guy below him, like calling me and telling me, you guys are all set. Columbia's going to sign you. You guys are going to be the next Soundgarden. We're going to put you out with Crossfade. Like I had sent it to all the guys and we thought we were all set. And then they all got fired like 2 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was the whole restructuring, right? At that time, that was all that big restructuring. Yep.
I have to, before I forget to say this, I got to say this. Making that record was really nerve-wracking for me because I didn't have a lot of confidence as a singer. Coming from a band where I mostly screamed and sang a little bit. Yep. And I got to give props to Kevin. Kevin really helped me through that process and made me comfortable and helped me become a better singer. He was very patient with me, so I got to give major props to Kevin, who helped me through that record.
Kevin, you sound like you were kind of the kind of the man in the background working everything, doing this. Did you have any sort of like training or anything previously, before all of this kind of?
Yeah. So I kind of, when I was like 10, I saw a recording studio on TV. I said, I want to do that. That looks fun. So I actually went to school for that for a couple years, but this was like, I was just super lucky to get any sort of gig in that industry. Most of the guys that I went to college for recording with worked at Guitar Center, and then you had the rare, opportunities for that. So I had been at the studio. I worked with a few other bands here and there, but when, obviously when this opportunity came for us to be able to do that was just huge. And I, my role in the band is definitely more of a supporting role and just playing bass. And I wasn't active in writing. I'm just not like super creative, but more of like a rhythm and a melody guy. And so it was like one of the best parts of the record was that I just got to work with Jesse individually. And, it was new for me to just be cutting, vocals, and it was new to him to have, I wasn't really working a ton in like a producer capacity and saying, no, let's do it again. And there was a couple spots where I think I might have helped out with like a melody or two just to finish a song.
You said
I did get to sing too, which was fun because I was by myself and I just said, I was working on the song Endless. Mm-hmm. And I put that little keyboard thing in the front of it. And I said, this is a kind of pretty mellow song with, some nice clean parts in it. I could probably just throw a little bit of harmony on a couple of words and maybe nobody would notice. I don't think I told anybody I was doing it. So I would I would have to hit record in the control room and run out to the isolation booth and sing it, and then run back in and press stop.
Got a couple doors there too, man.
That's like one of my most vivid memories of doing that record, because I was just laughing that I was doing it by myself.
And that was quite a run. That was a good amount of space, dude.
Kevin Schuler, the long distance runner. Sorry, I had to throw that out there.
I was in better shape back then. I could do that shit. No, but yeah, no, Jesse, I really appreciate that, man, because that was such a fun thing for me to do with you, and to be able to do that. And you know, the record, it sounds like it should, because we were just all meant to be there and meant to be doing that at that time. And
yeah, that was a difficult process for me, man. It was really weird to just go into a band and, you know, feel vulnerable, because I wasn't the best singer. I really wasn't. And you can hear that live. You watch any of this shit live, I'm going sharp and flat all over the fucking place. But yeah, it sounds pretty decent on the record. And kudos to Kevin. He really helped out a lot with that shit.
Well, we're gonna try to get Roger in here again. Oh, he was going to be admitted, and now he's disappeared again. So let's try it again. He'll be here in a minute. Well,
he's been a lot better with me on this record than like he is on this Zoom meeting.
How did you, Derek? How did you get approached? Did you get approached from Roger to re-release this record, or did you actually reach out to him? How did that happen?
All right, I've been trying to get this thing on vinyl since we put it out, because it just, to me, it was always meant to be. I've been collecting vinyl since before it was cool, you know. Like I've always been a vinyl guy, and I always knew this record would sound awesome on vinyl. Like I can't even believe how awesome. Like it sounds like a whole new experience. It's I worked with a guy for a couple of days in this mastering studio in New Hampshire, and we spent a lot of money, Roger's money, on mastering it for vinyl, and he tweaked some things that you're gonna notice, like vocally, they're just like cleaner and like a little bit more in the forefront, but like not like too much, you know. It was getting buried a little bit in the original mix, and we was able to fix that, so that's pretty cool.
Roger has joined us, ladies and gentlemen. Roger from Purchase Street Records. What's up, buddy?
Man,
I figured it out. I'm a dinosaur. Stuff.
He's got the max headroom thing going on, but you're still there. You still have a pager? Oh my God. Hey, I'm representing, by the way, one of the best shirt designs ever. Look at that, my big body. Look at that. Look at that.
Nice.
So Roger, thank you for joining us. How's things down in New Bedford?
It was busy, and it's dead right now, so it's perfect time, and everything's good. Life's okay. You can't.
We were just talking to Derek about how you guys got involved. And I didn't hear the answer. Who reached out to who for re-releasing the record?
I became friends with Derek, and always been a fan of his drumming, and kind of grew up in the same scene. And then I told him I was putting out some records, and he was like, let's put out the Seemless one. And that band just rocked, so why not? You know, things need to be on records. Certain things need to be on records. This was one of them.
What? Tell me a little bit more about. It's a double album, but one side etched?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Mike D did the artwork on it. He did a really nice etching. These guys like epic 2-minute songs, so it wouldn't fit on 2 records, so it went to 3. So we wanted to do something with the 4th side, so why not do something that's memorable? You know, this record to me is the nicest one that I've ever produced as, I guess, a label. And Derek was just like, spare no expense, and we didn't.
And it's colored vinyl, is that correct?
So,
dude, it's one of the nicest.
Correct. Yeah,
it's one of the nicest colored vinyls I've seen yet. And Roger was not happy with. He was kind of. We could have cut some costs with that, and I was obsessed with OBIs, which are these strips that the Japanese people use.
Yeah, on the side. Yeah, the sides. Yeah.
So I was like, dude, I want an OBI on there and some Japanese writing. And Mike D was like, dude, I didn't want some Japanese guy to like look at this and just have this random Japanese like. So
it says like tuna fish on the side of it.
Right. It says rock and roll in Japanese down the strip. and it says first time on vinyl, our names and everything, Purchase Street logo and all that. But and Roger was like, you know what, man, I don't want you to ever look back and think that, I had anything to do with like holding you back from your vision of what you wanted for this record. And I was like, thank you, sir. And that was it right there. And then he's been absolutely awesome about everything.
Go ahead, Roger. We're going to give Roger the floor. So go ahead.
I just, I appreciate the chance to do this record. Derek pretty much maxed out my credit card, which is fine. And they ship Thursday. So they're actually going to be on time for a release date, which is unheard of.
Right.
Since punk rock times. How many times have done like a CD or a tape release or something, and we're like, oh, you get limited covers. Well, the reason why you get limited covers is because the record didn't come in.
Right.
But we're really excited about it, working with Revelation and everything else.
I always, it's funny you mentioned that, Roger. Whenever there was a record coming out that they didn't have the vinyl ready for, I always think of the Star Wars early action figures that came out where they sent you a fucking box that you could display the Star Wars figures on. Because I know you've dealt with figures and stuff before. They sent you a box. Like, hey, good luck, kid. We'll send you the fucking figures when they're ready. They do the same thing with records, but this one's like, I mean, everything just kind of fell in place. How did Revelation get involved, Roger?
I've been ordering off some guys for like 4 years since I opened the shop. Adam has been nothing but great. And let's face it, that they've been around since
forever,
the start of punk rock and rock and roll. So like, why not do this record with a true record distributor? And it's limited. They get it out to the right clientele, and they've been great. So when the records ship, they're going directly, obviously, right to Rev, and the ones that Derek's getting, everything will come here.
March 12th,
and obviously all the dudes are going to get them too. So.
You all get
correct.
I bought mine because I pay for everything. I don't get shit for free. I pay for my fucking music. Get that straight. Get it straight, people. Buy your music, goddammit. What's that, Raj?
No, Derek's going to be paying for his. He doesn't know yet.
Okay, you're going to get a big bill. He's going to get like a CVS bill. Ticket receipt.
Oh Lord! Oh no!
Hey, Roger, do you have your action figure with you?
Can
you grab it? You got to see.
I just had a bunch.
I saw that. Is that Joe Joyce did that?
Oh yeah, Joe's insane.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
It doesn't look anything like me. It really doesn't.
Oh, fucking look at that. That's awesome.
That's great. I'll trade you one.
I remember the first time I went into Roger's store, I was with Jay from a singer from Kilgore, and we walked in and we're looking all around at everything, and we're just like, oh my God, I could just drop my kid's fucking college tuition in here and everything. And Jay goes, Greg, look. And I think Jay bought the King Diamond garden gnome.
What the fuck?
Remember that fucking thing?
Hey, man. Yeah.
Because I fucked up. I looked at it and went, oh, it's a Gene Simmons gnome. And he goes, no, it's King Diamond. And I go, oh, you're right. It is King Diamond.
We got the D. Snyder gnome right here.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, back patches. I mean, everything you could think of. I think Jay walked out with like the Run DMC box set that was like all held together with fucking duct tape and shit and on vinyl. And it's just an amazing store. Now, have you guys, have they started doing shows next door again?
Almost.
I
think that every town's being, it's getting to that point. I think it'll be a few months, and let's just have everybody safe, and then it's time to rock and roll. Like, let's do this the right way.
Absolutely, man. Roger, I'm going to let you go. Oh, you're welcome to stick around if you want, but we're going to move on to the next segment, but it's up to you.
Oh, no worries. I got to make money to pay for this record because I got to pay for it on Tuesday and Wednesday. But
I love you.
Derek's gonna get everybody's address, and I promise I'm gonna send you out some packages. Jesse, you should have got yours. I hope you got yours because I sent it out right away.
Got him. Thank you. I'll make a post
Nope.
about it.
No worries. But have a great time, and we'll talk to you soon. And it's a privilege to put out that record. Thank you.
Thanks, Raj. Thanks for joining
Thank
us.
you,
Roger from Purchase Street Records, everybody. Yeah. Woo, woo. Go
Bye,
and
guys.
visit his shop, man. It's awesome. Purchase
Best
Street
record
Records.
store on the planet, man.
Yeah, man. Oh, I just fell in love with that place when I walked in there. I could have spent so much money. All right. So we've got everybody together here that has been in the band at one point in time. And I'd like to jump to the end before we backtrack a little bit. I'd actually like to talk a little bit about your very last show that you guys played at the Lucky Dog. When was that? 2009?
Yeah, it was September 2009.
And tell me a little bit about your relationship with Eric and the Lucky Dog.
Oh man.
I mean, solid dude, man. Just
Well, so that place was just always a special place. We said we would begin our career there and we would end our career there. Like no matter how big we got or whatever happened, you know, we're always going to let Eric have our last shows. And every show we ever played there was magic. Like I can't remember one that wasn't. Like they were always fucking sold out, stone cold, like couldn't walk, like just crazy. Like it was almost like we had a minor era in that place that was a few years long that like we just couldn't do wrong in there. And Eric was he's one of my best buds. But the guys all got along with him, no matter who was in the band. Like all of them can tell you how amazing he is and how special the Lucky Dog was, and how I'm so sad it's gone, but I'm so happy that he's happy. But it was a monumental place for us, for sure. I mean,
That was our home. That was our home.
Yeah.
I mean, the best memories of this band were in that place, hands down. I mean, the way the staff treated us, the vibes, the fun, the bands we played with there, and Eric's generosity. He made you feel so welcome and just whatever you needed. The guy, yeah, that was the best part of this band, was playing at the Lucky Dog, hands down.
I felt like Babyhead to Rhode Island was like Lucky Dog to Massachusetts. You know, it was when it's small. And I remember, I have a quick story. So I went there one night and I think it was Scissor Fight was playing there, and it had fucking rained all weekend. And I was going there on a Saturday night to see Scissor Fight, and the roof was leaking. And rather than close down the club, it was only one section. Rather than close down the club or put a fucking bucket on the floor, people are tripping over. Eric did the most ingenious thing I've ever seen. He took a shower ring and hung it from the top. He hung it from the steel. You know, kind of like fucking Daniel San's Halloween outfit from Karate Kid. He hung it from the ceiling, and he put a shower curtain up, and he put like a tub in there to catch all the water, and he put free showers on it. I was like fucking blown away. And I was like, and people are coming over going, oh, okay, yeah, running over. But yeah, like I started going to shows there when it was Sir Morgan's Cove and a long time ago, and then it turned into Lucky Dog, and then what was the other one? Became something else. I forget what it was, but I have so many great memories. And I mean, I redid the lights in there at one point. I think I DJ'd in there one night. My band played there a couple of times, and Eric would literally do anything for any band. He would take a chance on any band that wanted to play. He didn't give a fuck what you sounded like. He's just like, you know what? You're a new band. You got the balls to put together a band and to play. I'll throw you on a show. And it was eclectic shows.
Yeah, Eric, that's a fact. When I had the band Stoneface, and I think Derek may have given me Eric's number. And, you know, we were trying really hard to just get gigs and get off the ground. And it was so difficult between Boston and even Connecticut. I mean, I was calling all over the place. But yeah, I called Eric, and he's like, no problem. You know, and he had us on a Thursday night, I think. And of course it was crickets, but, you know, it was easy. He's like, yeah, come on down. And he thought it was great. And we ended up back there. I think Derek got us on a show with, so I think it might've been like maybe it was LeCoubro and Stoneface, and then Seemless and Scissor Fight. But yeah, Lucky Dog, man. I probably played that room more than any place else in my time back east. But Eric was the man. He was so helpful.
Were there any bands during your era of Seemless that you guys really appreciated that helped you out, or any bands that you helped out during that time as far as, getting shows, playing shows, doing tours, anything like that?
Waltham locally.
I was gonna say Waltham and Jet Fuel is another good one. This guy,
Fucking
Dave.
Jet Fuel, yeah.
Yeah. So Dave was monumental in the Waltham camp, and that's how he ended up. Like, when we were going on tour and Pete couldn't go, and we were like, "Fuck, what are we gonna do?" And Jeff says, "Dude, I'll play guitar," and I was like, "I got the ultimate guy," and he has no problem traveling. Dave Pino, and they were all like, "You think he'll do it?" I'm like, "I'll call him." Sure enough, he was. Not only did that dude play bass in the band, he was a communication master.
Mm-hmm.
The dude could fix any van we were in.
You got to be a mechanic. You got to be a fucking mechanic back in the day if you're touring.
Dude, we're on the road one time on our way to fucking Michigan in a traffic jam, and our back tire goes on the trailer. He's got a Segway in the fucking trailer. He's like, "I'll be right back." And the dude has his shirt off. He's on his Segway in the fucking breakdown lane, going to get a new tire for us, and then comes back like literally 10 minutes later with a new tire, fixes it, and we're like, "All right, on our way." He's like, "I told you it was a good reason I brought the Segway."
Yeah. Well, that was we hadn't even played our first show. We were on our way to our first gig was at the machine shop in Flint, Michigan with Nonpoint. So that would have been our very first show of our very first tour. And we didn't even get there without having a flat. Anyway, but yeah, Dave saved the day with the Segway.
And he videoed a bunch of stuff.
I've got everything. I've got documentation.
See, this motherfucker could put out a little
good man.
And he put out a fucking training montage video of learning how to spin his fucking bass.
Yeah.
I'll
never forget that. Yeah, so awesome.
Oh my God,
He had all the pillows duct taped to him.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, I should get the box. The box is here actually in Waltham with all the DV tapes.
Okay, so I know Jesse and Pete knows this. So Dave, we'll exchange information. You and I'll trade. I've got over 800 shows from 1988 until whenever. I mean, I used to film everything, right, Pete? I mean, Eye for an Eye, fucking Uppercut. I mean, go to the Rack, go to Babyhead, and whatever it was. So we'll trade.
You got it.
I'll put it on VHS for you. How's that?
I'll be right back. I gotta pee really bad.
Yeah, no worries, brother.
TMI. Okay, so now that Jesse's gone, let's talk. I love his background. What is that? It looks like the album cover for Wise Blood from like Corrosion Conformity or Volume 4. Volume 4, yeah.
I think I heard that him and his girlfriend put it together. Somebody told me.
He's rocking he must be a gamer. He's got the gamer chair too.
No, I think that's just a chair he uses. I don't think he's a gamer.
A computer. We're nearing the end here, fellas. My questions have been answered, and we'll, as soon as Jesse gets back, we'll talk a little bit about the current projects you guys are going to be working on. Actually, this shouldn't take me too long to edit. Everything went really well. I just got to cut out a little bit of the first time Roger was coming on and going away. But if there's anything that you guys want to talk about towards the end, the very end, about what you're all working on personally, just let me know. But when we left off, Jesse, you with us? You back with us? Yeah. What were we talking about? What did we leave off?
We're talking about Dave and how awesome.
Dave, yes.
Oh, how awesome Dave is, right?
The bands that
One thing
I
remember.
Yeah, but
I remember meeting Jesse, and when you guys told me he was the singer of Killswitch, I didn't believe it. I was like, no, it's not. The guy's black. The guy's and I totally, and so Jesse, I made Jesse sing Heartache to me a cappella in the van.
Oh, that's funny.
Holy smokes, you are the dude from Killswitch. That was awesome, dude. I've cherished that moment that you sang.
I still get that today. You know that? I still get that.
Wait, you're not black?
What the fuck, man? Hey, Jesse, you actually just did something really cool yesterday. You just did a play-by-play of every song off the Atonement record. Can you talk a
Yeah,
little
I
bit about
sure
that?
did. Yeah, I sure did. Yeah, it was crazy, man. Yeah, I got a radio show called Keep It Heavy on this app Station Head that I just do for fun, playing a lot of shit that we grew up with, old school hardcore, stoner rock, and just do it every week for fun, just because I'm lonely up here in the woods doing nothing. And yeah, yesterday I decided to take the Killswitch record and go track by track and talk about the lyrics and shit I never do. But now with this record, I actually might do that with this record now that we're talking. It might be a good idea to go through and play the whole thing, because I do play Seemless every once in a while on this radio show, and every time I do, it lights up. People love this record. So
I'm the same way on Rapture Radio. Every time I throw a Seamless or like an Overcast or whatever on there, anything that has to do with like New England rock, because I'm down in North Carolina now, but my two cohorts for the radio station and my partners are in Connecticut, and we lean more towards the New England style of music. And every time I play the older stuff, people are like, oh, I fucking remember that. Yeah, I saw them play with so and so. What is I kind of want to go around the room here. What are y'all doing for current projects? Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
I'm a stay-at-home dad.
Okay.
Shredding.
What was that, Dave?
He's a stay-at-home shredding dad.
Shredding dad. I'm a shredder. How about you, Kevin?
Yeah, same. So I'm home most of the time. I'm gonna be brewing some beer later. But for playing, I've just actually, after Seamless, I figured out how to play guitar and sing at the same time. So me and my buddy did some acoustic covers for years. He was in No December. You guys probably remember them.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan from No December.
One of my
So
favorite voices.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's a good dude. Still really close friends. So our kids are all the same age and we hang a lot. But him and I try to get together a few times a year and just blow through some covers and, you know, have some fun. But other than that, and playing with my little Spark amplifier and my guitars, that's about it.
How about you, Pete?
So I've had a band called Death Ray Vision for a long time. I don't know how long, 12 years maybe. And we get together whenever, Mike D's available. And that's been fun. And I've actually kind of been dabbling in like writing songs for other bands. I just had a song that I co-wrote with this band called Bad Marriage. That they're going to be putting out this year. So I'm hoping to do a little more of that.
How about you, Dave?
Well, since Seamless kind of started like an avalanche of work for me. Before Seamless, I was playing in a band with Piggy D from Rob Zombie. Then he left and joined Rob Zombie. So I had nothing to do. So then I joined Seamless. And while we were on tour with Seamless, I ended up in one of the bands that we were touring with was Ankla. I joined them. And then from there, I went to California to visit a friend, and I ended up in Power Man 5000 being out there. And then with Power Man, I ended up in Andrew WK, which I'm still in now. So I would do both at the same time. And then I quit Power Man. And then from Andrew WK, I joined another group called People Mover, which is the one with all the Yetis.
Yep.
And I want to say that's
that's a bad.
I've done it, but I don't remember.
Dude, that band is fucking fantastic. It is. It's playing with bones. But I gotta say, that new Andrew WK song "Babylon" is killer, and that video is fucking crazy.
Oh, nice.
Weird.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
Heavy metal workout where he's just fucking air drums to the entire.
Yeah. How about you, D-Rock? What have you been doing for music?
Oh man, I've been doing. Well, this year I haven't done much, but I have a cover band with the bass player from Whitesnake and a couple other dudes that were pretty big around the area here where I live in central Massachusetts. And we were doing New Year's Eve for the last like 7 years, like selling out and making big money. And this year we couldn't play. But he's moving back home. And we'll probably do that full time. Like when I say full time, like
super muffled, dude.
Yeah, D, your mic's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go. All right, start that over again.
Yeah,
So White Snake.
I have a cover band.
So D-Rock, let me try. Hold on. So D-Rock, what have you been doing for music?
So I have a cover band with the bass player from Whitesnake, and we've been doing New Year's Eve for the last like 7 years, but this year we couldn't do it, but we sell the place out and make a lot of money. It's pretty awesome, and play a bunch of songs that are like, if we're doing Zeppelin, we're doing like Since I've Been Loving You. We do Sweet Love Is Like Oxygen, like just crazy stuff that like most cover bands aren't doing. And we just have a lot of fun, and everybody shows up no matter what, because it's like an event, I do have a band recording project called Downpour with Brian from Shadows Fall, myself, and a buddy of mine here who is joined a new band with Matt and John from Shadows Fall now. They're in a new band together, but we still have like, we wrote like 40 songs together. Like it was just kind of like with Pete, him and I would get together and just write so fast. And then Brian just fell in love with the stuff. And then we got signed and the record came out, and, I'm real happy with it. It's one of my favorite metal records I've ever done. Like it's exactly what I wanted to do metal wise, because there's some rock and roll groove in there, but it's heavy and brutal, like a little bit of like it's mildly like progressive, So
I saw you guys. I saw Downpour play over at the upstairs at the Palladium, and it was great. Absolutely fantastic.
The only gig we've ever done.
Yeah, I know. I filmed a couple of the songs, and I was like, "Fucking hey, this is great." And then after a while, I didn't hear of anything, but yeah,
yeah, we got. I think we're gonna put up. Actually, I think Roger's putting out the record, and then we're gonna have like 4 new, like an EP of new songs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we're just trying to get that taken care of right now. And then I have like, I think I played on like 40 records. Like I've been like Michael Sweet from Stryper just re-released an album we did 15 years ago together, which is pretty cool, with my tracks on them that we did at Blue Jay, Kevin's studio, by the way. Kevin, you were on those sessions, right?
I think I was there for some of them, but I think I was kind of, it was right around the time I left there, I believe. So I know, I actually commented on Michael's post that he was putting that out again. I'm like, that's awesome, man. So cool.
I can't wait to hear it. Like,
I can't either.
It's supposed to be,
Yeah, especially on vinyl too. That's great.
Yeah. So I've always been busy, man. I've always had opportunities. Like I have bands that have called and I just turn it down. I don't want to tour anymore, man. Touring did bad things to me. When we were together and touring, like it was new and it was exciting. We didn't know like what the future held for us. So like we had a lot of good times. We had a lot of tough times, but man, we can look back at a lot of fucking crazy, funny shit on the road, man. Like myself, Jeff, Jesse, and Dave. I mean, that first tour with Nonpoint, we were sleeping in the fucking underneath desks in the back of the machine shop that night, like in a goddamn like office, like
we a packing blanket.
Yeah, like anything to save money, so we didn't have, and we'd stay at anybody's house, but we had some amazing people we met that are still some of my friends to this day, but we had some fucking weird.
Hey, wasn't there one time where the host of the home got too drunk and we ended up having to leave the house at 5 in the morning because it got
he was doing the curly shuffle, shitting his fucking pants.
Yeah, that was Fu Manchu. I think it was in Columbus. Was that in Columbus, Ohio?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was a
nightmare.
Jesse, you were so freaked out.
What was he doing? What was he doing?
He was like laying on the floor screaming, and Dave and his brother Frank was with us acting as our
Frank, the tour manager. We gotta talk about him. Jesus.
So they were in the kitchen partying with this guy, and Dave and his brother, like they were literally throwing shots over their shoulder, and this guy would match them shot for shot. He was so hammered he didn't know these guys weren't even drinking. And so by the end of it, the guy was like, he was laying in his pee on the kitchen floor, just making these ungodly, animal-like sounds, and
that's what freaked me the fuck out.
Jesse was like, "We gotta get out of here." It was like 4 a.m. We all like,
yeah.
Drug everybody out.
Kevin's like, "What the fuck did I miss?"
But
This is why I didn't want to tour, because I would have been the guy on the floor in my own piss.
Jesse, your reaction was the best. Me and my brother in the van, you came and knocked on the van and you were so tired. You're like, I don't know if we have to call an ambulance or the cops. But we got that.
Dude, I was a different dude back then. I was a really uptight, fucking anxious, insecure guy back then. But I will say this. Seemless made me fall in love with the road again. And I don't know if it wasn't for Seemless, I wouldn't even be doing what I'm doing. I had a really bad experience prior to that, and there, we had our ups and downs with Seemless, and it definitely got weird and dark towards the end, but a lot of great memories for sure. And the freedom of the road and those moments when you're out in the middle of nowhere and you can just stop, because now I'm on a tour bus, you can't stop. So we would just stop at random places, and remember Joshua Tree on Halloween, like so many cool little things that we did.
Yeah, how about the Stonehenge in Portland?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
outside of Portland.
Yeah, Dave had his Segway. He was riding around Stonehenge.
Segway, I remember that shit. That shit was fun, man.
Jesse, you and I had a moment that like I'll never forget. And every time I hear the song, we stopped to take a piss. Everybody was sleeping, and you and I were like manning the driving duties because we had to. It was when we went out to the Trivium tour, but we were going to sleep in
Trivium tour.
Dave Davidson's house that night in Idaho. So we had to get to Idaho, but everybody was tired. You and I.
Oh, dude, that drive was brutal.
And then we pulled over, and dude, we were listening to
Under the Milky Way tonight.
Under the Milky Way, and we went outside
great
to
song.
take a piss, and you and I saw the most spectacular sky that I've ever seen in my life to this date. And
I remember I had
coming out of the van, and you and I were like, dude, this is awesome. Like,
that same night I had to like keep smacking myself.
no, you did. We barely got to that dude's house because we were fucking
That was
tired.
yeah, but the day, if you remember, that was our first show on the Trivium tour, which that was actually the second show of the tour, but we missed the first one because we drove, our van broke down in Pennsylvania. We had to rent a van from Chicago. Took the guy, I don't know how many hours to drive the van to us.
And
we drove to Salt Lake City. It took us straight 30 plus hours to get
that's a long
to that show. So the day before, I mean, we were like so beat and from the day before, but that was like, we played an off day. We played in Boise, Idaho with the Sword at the Bouquet. So we had to get here the next day.
That's right.
Yep.
Holy shit. I was thinking we had the day off. My God.
That fucking rest stop, I drove by it when I first rejoined Killswitch. I remember driving by that rest stop and being like, fuck that fucking area of Pennsylvania.
Barkyville.
Fucking Barkyville,
Pennsylvania.
Dude, I went by it with Unearth and we did the same thing. I'm like, fuck you, Barkyville. I was on the bus just like, fuck you, you suck.
And driving with the fucking cap off the motor and listening to it to make sure it didn't fucking break down on us. And every time we stopped, Dave's trying to fix the fucking thing.
There was a lot of moments where I was like bummed out about not being on the road, but that was not one of them. I remember being like, "Fuck it, I'm glad I'm a spectator of this shit."
So that tour, I virtually broke the band. I mean, in terms of cash. Because it cost like $4,000 to get the van fixed. It cost another $3,500 to rent a van to do the tour. By the end of that tour, we were over $9,000 in the hole.
Jesus.
So financially, that tour took us down.
You never caught up.
No.
Yeah.
And the dude we had out teching us, that Southern guy,
James.
He was wet behind the ears. That dude was. I love the kid, and I've talked to him since then, but he was a pain in the fucking ass too. The whole tour.
Well, he was like an 18-year-old redneck.
Yeah. And it was his first time seeing snow in Wyoming. Remember that? And I tackled him in the fucking snow.
Yeah. First time he ever saw snow. I remember Dave, like I was driving, we were coming over the Continental Divide and I was driving, we were coming down the other side into Wyoming, and Dave was like, dude, you better slow this thing down because it was snowing. There was snow everywhere. He's like, if this thing breaks, that trailer breaks loose, we're all dead, And but no, that was crazy. It was really cool to see James freak out over snow because he'd never seen it before.
Yeah, and he was talking all this shit, so I just tackled him and I put his fucking face in the snow.
Jesse, you're such a pacifist. I don't see you doing that, man.
Deep down inside, I'm really grumpy these days. But yeah,
it's the early hardcore. That's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, and I haven't had a drink in 2 fucking months, so I'm a little grumpy.
COVID.
I'm a year and a half now.
Oh my God.
Variety 2020, kid.
Yeah, I'm not sober, but I've cut way the fuck back. It's been good. It's been good navigating this without all the stuff I'm usually doing. So.
Yeah, well, this wasn't my problem. I was having other problems with stuff, so the pills got a hold of me. But I'm doing a lot better.
We've all had our vices. Where it's all about moderation now, man. I mean, for me, it's fucking. It's food. Food.
Hey, if I could, I would like to actually expand on what I have been doing lately.
Sure.
I've been playing in a bunch of tribute bands. I'm in a Black Sabbath band. I played a Judas Priest band, and we have this Thin Lizzy tribute, which has been really
cool,
freaking awesome because we've gotten on these killer bills at the Knitting Factory. Yeah. And so I've actually been playing quite a bit. Nothing original until lately. I just joined a local band called Vault 7. They've been around a while. It's all original stuff, and we're like in the process of getting me up to speed on their tunes and all that. But yeah, I'm not just sitting out in Idaho doing nothing. I've actually been playing quite a bit and riding a lot of mountain bike.
What happened to your hand?
Shit.
Yeah, I fell off the mountain bike. Crushed my skull, crushed my wrist.
Fuck, Jeff got messed up. Dave got messed up. Is everybody else okay?
I'm good. I just had to go to rehab. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. 47 days, not a thing, man.
Wow.
That's a walk in the park, right, D? It's a walk in the park.
It was horrible, but I'm grateful I did it. I'm here and I'm alive, and I'm
So Derek, you're in Massachusetts. Kevin,
Yes,
you're in Mass.
Yeah, I'm in the town next to where I grew up in Mass.
Pete, where are you, Mass?
Yeah.
Jesse's New York.
Yeah, Woodstock.
Woodstock, New
you're a
York.
Woodstock kid?
Oh wow.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's
And
awesome.
Dave,
Woodstock 2
where are
years.
you? West Coast.
I'm between Massachusetts and Fort Worth, Texas. Every 2 weeks.
Texas. Okay. And then Jeff, you just said where are you? Idaho.
I'm in Boise, Idaho.
Boise, Idaho. Okay. So this is kind of the first time that everybody's really talked to each other since when?
09.
Well, as a group, yes, our last gig, I think.
Yeah.
09.
Yeah, I've seen Jeff on the road, and I've played shows with Pete's band, so I've seen these two. And Dave, I think I saw you at a festival in California, so I've seen those three in the past like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Were you guys now, at this point in life in 2021, is there one thing specific that stands out for you personally as being the pinnacle or like the biggest point for you in Seemless's life?
Honestly, I'll take this first, and I apologize if that's. But
no, right ahead.
The fact that we're bigger now than when we were together is kind of it's just like an anomaly of a situation. Like that doesn't happen that often. Like, but I really find that like, man, where were all these people when we were together? Because it's crazy the amount of stuff I get like on the Seemless front on a weekly basis. Like, and it's always the first record. I think there was just a time and a place for that first record. There was something that was like charming about it because it was just, I don't know, man. Like,
look at the guys. Look how charming the guys were.
Oh
Well,
my
let's-
gosh.
Yeah, that is a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Look how clean
When I
cut.
see myself, I want to punch myself in the face.
I just want to like throw some hair.
Such anger!
I just
Fuck, man! I thought you like fucking. Don't you listen to like the Bad Brains and shit and just like pound the shit out of stuff?
I've just come a long way since those days, and I look back on them. There was a lot of growth going on, but I would have to agree with what Derek says. Like we had a hard time, especially towards the end, just trying to like make it and keep it going. And at first, it really annoyed the shit out of me when people would come up to me and be like, "That was such a good band." And like Derek said, I'm like, "Well, where the fuck were you when we were a band?" But yeah, we've definitely become much bigger than we were when we were a band, and that does have a lot to do, I would say, with the music. You know, that first record especially, there's like a magic there. I can't explain it either. And I love the second record too, and I think especially the last song in that second record, I've just listened to it recently. I'm like, whoa, we could have gone way more out there, progressive Pink Floyd or whatever, but or Porcupine Tree was a big influence back then too. But yeah, there's something really unique about that record, the first record for sure.
Dude, I will say the second record I love, and Things Fall Apart, I listen to religiously because there's just something about that tune. We all got on a level that was so like beyond what I thought we were capable of, and I just wish people would have heard it. Like, I think people are starting to come into it, but that first record it's just that I don't know what it is, man. There was a charm, like I said.
Captured a moment in time, I think, you know.
Yeah, man.
How about you, Kevin? Was there anything that you I'm sorry, Jeff, I didn't mean to cut you. You want to go, Jeff?
No, I was just going to say that, you know, the first record that's what it is. It's the first record, you know, it's seamless. Like, you know, I have the unique perspective of just being a fan.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, when I first heard it, I was like, this is awesome. You know, I'm sure, you know, there are tons of people that feel the same way, but you know, I'm just grateful that I was chosen to be able to play those songs live and just be a part of it. Anyway, but you know, you're talking about musical pinnacles. I mean, Seemless was my musical pinnacle. You know, in terms of the grander big picture of writing songs, recording, and being able to go tour, that was it. I've never, you know, in terms of music and what I've wanted to do with it, that was the pinnacle for me. I mean, it was fabulous. And I know, you know, for a couple of the guys, it was kind of difficult at times for different reasons, personal reasons, but, you know, I loved every minute of it. I didn't care if we slept on floors for the next 10 years. I mean, it was just a blast and a gift to be able to step on stage, you know, 30 days in a row and plug in and play. I mean, that's what it was all about. It was about those, you know, that 45 minutes or whatever. Everything else was just, you know, get me to the next 45 minutes. And every minute was worth it to get there. So anyway, I just, you know, I'm grateful. I want to thank all you guys for giving me a chance to be a part of it.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Couldn't have done it without you.
Your jokes on the road were fantastic. We had to have about the broken van. You're like, I think we're gonna need a case of beer for this meeting.
Dude, you were the king of that shit, though. The band would be completely quiet. Everyone would be asleep, and Dave Pino's head would come up, and he would just say the most random shit, and we would just lose it. Like, what the fuck? The most random, like, stoner moments. Like, and then touring with you and Frank was just nonstop fucking.
Dude, that tour was for me the most fun.
And Maddie,
Maddie, I mean
Maddie Y, yeah, I forgot
that
Maddie,
one.
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys remember? I think we were in Texas somewhere, and we got a room for the night, and so we were all just hammered, beat, and like Matty Y gets out of the van and he walks into this random hotel room, not knowing which room we're in.
You got a gun,
and there's some dude in there that like, and Matty was like, "Oh, geez, I'm sorry." So he turns around and walks out, and then like a minute later, the dude opens the door, shows us his handgun to make sure, you know, we know what's up. And anyway.
And then he also found a girl that we stayed with, and he was like kind of trying to hook up with. Then the next night she wanted to come see us. He was like, "Yeah, I don't want her around, and we're not staying with her tonight." We were like, "Shit, we got to find someplace else to stay."
Oh, that's right. That chick. I remember that. Yeah.
It was like Galveston. It was like Corpus Christi, like down that area. Like,
wow. Yeah.
Oh, that was
another fucking random memory is some dude we stayed with that had handles of vodka over his entire apartment, and he was just getting hammered on handles of vodka.
Oh.
And do you remember this? And it freaked me out. So I went out and slept in the van, and I ended up cleaning the van up, and like
Jesse, likely no, man.
I was just nervous.
Like, the man looks so nice today, bro.
There's a lot of stuff that freaks you out. You know, people picking themselves, handles, and
Dude, I was a mess. I was an anxious, uptight fucking mess back then. That wasn't the only time I went out to the van to clean it because I was freaked out. That happened in Atlanta, Georgia, too. Remember that? And I got all pissed
I
off.
remember you were like ready to go home, and I had to run and ran to some random fucking place. I was like, dudes, he just ran to some.
Yeah,
he just
we found him.
I don't know what to do. Like, are we playing tonight?
I was not okay.
I think he was a bit baked, and he ran down the street, and we found him in the park.
Yeah.
We'll get Jesse.
No, dude, I'm telling you, man.
It was 6 a.m., bro. It was early.
Yeah.
Wow.
Since then, I've gone through a lot of fucking changes and gotten rid of some terrible people too. But my life is great now, like as far as this goes. But back then, you guys dealt with me. I thank you for that. I was not.
Well, listen, we've all been through that at various points in our life. It just so happened that your stretch of that happened with us at a particular, visible point in your upbringing or whatever. So
yeah,
it's just all timing.
Yeah, I was not fun.
No, you were, dude. You were some great dude. That time we were in, it was after we played Atlanta, and Jeff actually got baked, and you yelled at him, and he's like, "Yo, bro,
so harsh, my
mellow." You're like, "I'm really fucking baked right now, dude, and I just want to get to where we need to go." And Jeff goes, "Oh, dude, you're harsh and my mellow, bro." I was just like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Oh, God damn it!
Well,
but to bring it full circle, I will say the Fu Manchu tour with Frank and Maddie. That to me, that was the one. That was Fu Manchu were so fucking awesome. Yep. And Valiant Thor, those motherfuckers.
Valiant Thor, man. Yep,
that was awesome.
Yeah, in Austin we hooked up with Dave's buddy, who's now, isn't he the bass player in Andrew's band now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember we went to his apartment, and then these guys made brownies. And you don't remember that?
I remember
we missed I'm not sure, we played in Austin, and then we hooked up, or I don't know. It's a blur, but I think we went to his house. You guys made brownies, and then we like hit the road, and we missed the next show because we had the wrong address, and we were like, 50 miles out of the way or something. So we just decided to keep driving through the night for the next show, wherever it was, like headed towards California or something. And oh no, maybe it was down south in Texas, but we just ate brownies and drove.
I feel like Kevin and Pete over here should weigh in a little bit as to their pinnacle or their defining moment or everything, because we haven't heard much from this side over here. Kevin?
Yeah, no, I love the tour stories, and kind of sad I missed out on them, but I think if I had been on tour, it would have all been very much like our first show. If you guys remember our first show.
Where was your first show at?
I think it was at the Paradise.
Oh, in Boston. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was.
Yeah. I was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
I think it was like
all spun the mic and went flying in the
It started with me.
Hold on, let him tell it. Go ahead, Kevin. Go ahead.
It started with me leaving my bass at Blue Jay Studio. We were recording stuff.
Oh my God.
So I get a bass from the guy, Larry, I think, from All Parallels, and it has 5 strings. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this top string? Like, what is this tune do? Oh, it's B? So I have to skip this string? Like, I had no idea what I was doing. And then we get to playing. All of a sudden, Derek stops playing, and he looks down, and his kick drum beater came off, and the post went right through the fucking head. And then he gets some with kick drum, and we start playing again. Jesse's twirling his mic, clips one of Pete's tuning pegs right off the fucking guitar. And I'm like, I don't think we're supposed to be playing. Like, this is not fucking, this is our first show. Like, it can only get better from here. But and for whatever reason, when I think back about Seemless, like usually I do think mostly about the studio and getting to do that project and how that was you know, the pinnacle of my whole studio time and being in the band. And I just, but for whatever reason, I always think of our first show and just laugh. I mean, you have to laugh at shit like that. But yeah, I think I just got to a place where it was just, you know, time for me to move on. I actually quit the band. I quit the studio, broke up with my girlfriend, like all at the same time. I think it was like 2004-ish. And I was just kind of burnt out on everything and just not in a good place mentally. But, you know, I do look back at the band as one of definitely the pinnacle of what I was able to do with music, for sure. Especially that record, especially getting to work with Jesse so closely on it. And it's just awesome time, really great time.
Yeah.
All right. We left off with Pete. Pete was going to talk a little bit about his moment in Seemless.
If I have one moment, I mean, like the Hawaii trip was you know, amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'd never been there, but I don't know. I think, you know, we definitely had some success, but like we also had this weird thing about like promoters thinking we were bigger than we were. Like the Hawaii trip was a perfect example. Like, you know, that was like one of our best paying shows. Like we went out there.
She handed me $2,000 cash before we did a thing. She had 4 days of like Hawaii set up for us, and 2 people paid for that show.
2 people?
Dude,
like audience members?
New Year's Eve.
Wow. What on the main island?
Oh yeah, we were in Oahu.
No, Oahu.
With who?
Some random band.
Nobody.
Just you. Oh shit.
Remember there was a random band she brought from like
some local band that she knew. But it was, you know, the club was set up like, you know, they used to do at Axis or whatever. So they have all the rock shows up until like 10 p.m. and then they kick everybody out
and do the dance. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was like a 1,200 cap room, and like we played for the opening band and like 2 military guys who happened to be stationed out there.
Yeah.
That were fans. It was cool.
Yeah, we got like 3 nights in a hotel. She rented us a car, and I think they paid us $2,000, and we played for 5 people.
So you got to go to Hawaii. That's fantastic.
She didn't complain either. She just liked us a lot too. Like she didn't really care. Her husband was an old software engineer from Microsoft. She was from Seattle, and like she had a lot of money because of him, and she just would bring who she wanted. But she thought, I mean, a lot of people, like Pete said, a lot of people thought we were bigger than we were. We had done pretty well locally, you know, and but nationally we were having a tough time. Like, and like I said, there's no doubt that we're bigger now than when we were together, which sucks because it's like the tours would have been better, you know, and like we would have probably been able to do more, or at least we would have, like, you know, been able to bring the people that the promoters thought we were going to bring, and like, you know, not exhaust our ability to be someplace, you know. But
it's hard for, you know what, it's hard as a fan to comprehend, you know, that more people weren't into you, because I remember being a fan and my friends and I just going out to support local music, and we would go see you guys play because we were friends. I mean, fuck, I've known Pete for a long time. I mean, we've probably known each other since me and my cousin Randy did shows with Overcast at the WAG when I played drums, you know, and fuck, you know, like that's how, and I met, you know, Jesse and I have met in passing off and on through The Empire Shall Fall and through Seemless and through Kill Switch Engage over the years. Corinne, I remember going to see Corinne. And, you know, I always felt that locally you guys had this crazy fan base, because like all your friends, it was a friend thing. All your friends would come out and see you, your friends, your family. Oh, they're playing here. They're playing in Chicopee. Oh, they're playing in Worcester. They're playing in Providence or whatever.
No,
and
if we were in Worcester, bro, like the shows were banging. It didn't matter where
huge.
we played, what we did. They were all, that was home. Like Jesse said, Worcester was home, but the Lucky Dog in particular was home for us. And like those shows were always fucking sold out and banging. Like we couldn't do anything wrong there, you know?
Right.
And it didn't mean nobody cared if we were on a tour or not. They always just wanted to come see us when we were home, you know? Like that was what was weird. Like when we finally got on the road, we were like, man, we're fucking doing it. And like it didn't seem like a lot of people cared. Then we come home and everybody cared because we were playing at home, you know?
Yeah, it's always good to come home, man, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
but coming home was always great, you know? It didn't matter what we were doing. We played I remember when Dave played up with us the first time, I think Pete actually came to see us. And because he was just going to warm up because we were leaving for a tour, but we opened for POD at the Axis that night, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely at Axis. I don't remember if it was POD.
Yeah, I think it was
or whatever.
POD.
One of those butt rock bands that we got booked with all the time.
Yeah, I'm quite sure it was POD. I remember that. Yeah. But yeah, like it was weird because there's Pete out there in the audience watching Jeff play guitar and Dave now playing bass. So it was interesting, but like I thought the dynamic worked well. The funny thing is we always had these crazy drives with Seemless, and we were like all like, we want to get to this gig, the first gig, so we're driving straight 16 hours to fucking Kentucky or whatever, and we want to get home, so we're in Texas and we're just driving straight home 25 hours. Like,
yeah,
we were crazy like that. We did not want to like, yeah, let's do 3 gigs on the way home. We were like, yeah, no, fuck that. Like my manager Justin would ask us for like those like off shows, and like we did a couple one time by ourselves where like 20 people showed up in Utah or whatever, and we were like, fuck this, it's not worth it. Like we're waiting all day to play this fucking show where nobody's showing up. Like we got to support people, so like let's just go home. And that's what we started doing. But I can remember the first night of the fuck, I just thought of this, like it came into my mind, like Dave was out of his mind, like this fucking first show in Kentucky, and he just fucking never said anything to me. At the end of the set, dive bombs my drums, like bass, his whole body just fucking comes flying in at me. Like I had no clue it was gonna happen. Like I was like, dude, I think we were a little over the top tonight.
I don't remember that.
Punk rock, man.
You do remember that?
I don't have any memory. My memory's
dude, you came flying, dude.
I mean, I've done it to other drum kits, so maybe it's mixed in there with the other memories.
Yeah.
I've taken out some drum kits too, but never on purpose.
Pete, we're playing in it was Jeff's first show with us, and we were playing with Brand New Sin up in Syracuse at this fucking farm, like literal farm, I believe.
Yeah, remember Billy Ray Cyrus was playing at the car racetrack down the street or something. It was out in the boonies.
So we were out there, but there was it was a good amount of people. Like, it was a cool show. Fucking Pete's jamming, man. He's jamming. He's going back. He's leaning back. Disappears. Falls off the fucking stage.
Oh.
Literally never missed a note. Just keeps jamming on his back, like on top of some other dude's drum kit. Like it was unbelievable. Like he just disappeared, like for a long time. But like the riffs were still happening. I was like, the fuck is going on, man? That was the night he's talking to these kids. Right? Dude, you know it's just, I want to tell you kids something. You never forget this. Kaboom! Passes out.
I remember that.
We were like, what the fuck? There were like 6 kids. Like,
he was eating chips. He was eating chips too.
Yeah. I remember this. I'm going to tell you, I got something really important to tell you. Right? Never forget this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
That's a pinnacle moment right there. That's
Dude,
I think that's the night I think that's the night you threw your cell phone in the trash at the gas station.
Yes, we were talking about this the other day. Him and his wife, worst relationship. I'm sorry, like
ex-wife.
Yeah, ex-wife.
Yeah.
Like, his wife is a beautiful woman. Ex-wife is a beautiful woman too. Like, but they did not get along. He is not just 11 o'clock and his phone just doesn't stop ringing. And he's like, hey, what? I told you I'll be home and I'm fucking home. Blah, blah, blah. He fucking takes the cell phone, throws it in the trash. He cracks it open like he can't use it. Throws it in the trash. All of a sudden, he's pumping gas with me outside. He's like all pissed off, and we hear. I'm like, dude, it's still ringing. He's like, fuck it.
So Pete, why didn't you want to tour?
Why didn't I? Jesus.
Want to tell you
my
something?
God.
I just couldn't afford the 100% pay cut.
Yeah.
That too.
Do that.
Oh,
I was
So
on-
for all you
I
bands
thought-
out there, get out on tour and make the memories, because this
Oh,
is shit
sweaty.
you're
Not
gonna
make
remember. Oh God.
I was on unemployment. I was like kicking money to Jesse and shit. Like, I was like,
Oh yeah, I was, dude. Justin Archangel paid my mortgage one month because we were so bad. I remember that. He was great.
dude, he Justin.
Yeah.
I wish he could have joined us today, but
Yeah,
he
Justin
said,
was-
you know,
I
he's on the
managed
fence.
a band for a long time, dude. But like when we got to Equal Vision, it was like, you know, not hundreds of thousands of dollars, but thousands of dollars on a video budget. Like, I don't know where it's gonna come from or how we're gonna do it. Like, I don't know how this works, you know. Like, so I remember he was our lawyer, and then he was like, "Man, I'll manage." He said, "I wanted to talk to you. I want to manage you guys." I was like, "Oh my God!" Like, I had talked to the guys. Like, Justin would be the ultimate manager. Like, he is just so compassionate and never, dude, no matter whatever happened to us, like, I'm talking, I call him crying from fucking Barkeyville, like, because I thought we were never, he put us on this tour with Trivium as a favor, and here we are broken down and can't get to the show. Like, I was just like, this is the worst case scenario. Like, we're stuck. Like, we were stuck in a hotel, dude, like, and with no future. And he goes, "I want you to call this guy in Chicago." And they're barely in the office, dude. And this dude, who I'm still friends with to this day, Chris, he worked there, and he just happened to be in the office. He's like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" I'm like, "Dude, we need a van, but we need somebody to drive it out to us because we're stuck in Pennsylvania." He's like, "Oh, I'll leave in like an hour. I'll be there in like 10 hours. I was like, "What?" "Oh, there's my wife. That's Amy."
Hey,
Oh, you should probably come say hi real quick. Everybody's here.
hey, hi, Amy.
Yeah, Dave, you know. Yeah, you just say hi real quick.
Come on.
The band's back together.
Hey, Amy.
How are you guys?
Wow, you haven't changed at all. Amazing.
She looks exactly the same. She just turned 34.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Good save.
Incredible.
Oh man, it's nice to see all you guys.
Nice to see you.
You too.
Aw.
Oh, look. Oh.
Oh.
We all got mad old, and you look the same.
Wait, Kevin's here too. Kevin, say something.
Hi, Amy.
Kevin.
No.
You can't see me?
There he is.
Uh,
Oh,
I was the handsome one until Jeff showed up.
no, Jeff too. Jeff doesn't age at all. The dude's like,
no, you just, if you were up close, you'd see it.
no.
I feel you. Oh, it was nice seeing you guys.
Nice to see
You,
you.
Amy.
Doing. We'll let
I
you know
know.
what the gigs are.
The angel.
I actually want to give my pinnacle moment of you guys. I remember when Lay My Burden Down, the video came out, and being like, because back in the day, with some of the bands that I was listening to, it was like Sam Blackchurch or Rise or Kingpin, and then later on in the career it would turn into Scissor Fight, and then Shadows Fall, Killswitch Engage, the New England metal. It was so cool to see that video come out and go, wow, there's like, it was like I was friends with the guys being like, that's fucking awesome. Look at that. And to this day, that has one of the greatest breakdowns of any song. And it's almost like, Jesse, it's almost like you singing that song, you don't want the song to end, because even when the song starts to fade out, you're pushing it on vocals, and that is my favorite. Just I know I don't want to say it's the top of the pops or it's the the number one, but for me that song really really hit me hard when that got released. Kudos.
Yeah, the breakdown end of that song is, every time we played it, every single time you'd see the audience just being like, "Oh shit."
Yep.
Yeah.
Just
Talking about Lay My Burden Down.
Yep. They're just, you see
Yeah.
people, you see the guys in the front, you know, the guys, the big guys in the front walking back on stage like, yeah, I'm going to fucking, it's coming. It's coming. There it goes.
It's a rock and roll breakdown, man. Like it just came to us on the spot. Like Kevin said, that song was written in the practice space I think that was our first rehearsal that Jesse stood up. And we pounded it. Me and Pete had been jamming that like for maybe a week before. Like we were like, we'll do something with Kevin's. I think him and I were the only ones one time, and we were writing. And then we're like, when Kevin comes next week, we'll finish this up. You know, it sounds good with bass. Like it always sounds better when the bass player is there for me as a drummer. You know, but you know, him and I were riffing all the time together. And then all of a sudden, like Jesse was in the room too, and like that song was done like in an afternoon. Like that's what's so crazy about it. And that was our money shot, dude. Like, like AEF got behind it. Like they played it like.
Real Rock TV, I think, was when I first saw it.
Yeah. And then like Mike Shue actually got Mistress Carey to put it into regular rotation for like 6 weeks it was. And then we did that. That was the year we did that Loco Bazooka. We went down to New York and played a gig and then came straight.
I went to that Loco Bazooka. Was that the Green Hill one?
No, it was at Fitchburg Airport because we were like.
Okay, I went to that one then. Okay,
I went to that one too. At like 7 a.m, like because we had to get there early, and we were like not playing until like 3. It was like, oh fuck, but ended up being a killer gig. It was sick, but you could see like that when we started playing "Lay My Burden Down," everybody's like, oh yeah. You could see them like, I know this tune.
Yeah, they got it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it did a lot for us, but. Just couldn't put us over the edge. And then the second record, which I love just as much as the first, like it just, I don't know, dude. It just didn't work out. You know, it is what it is. But those are still some songs that I hear and I'm like, holy shit! Like,
I think it's like what Jeff said, which is this is it, the first record. You know, it's like the first Led Zeppelin record, the first Doors record, the first fucking.
No, it was our first record, dude. Like we were able to pick and choose. You know, yeah, for sure. And it was Jesse's first time as a rock singer, which I feel he did a great job. Like I know he can probably look back at it and like feel he could have done a better job, but man, it was just a time and place for all of us. There's a lot of things I think I could have done better, but dude, we captured them. Like songs are a moment in time. Like if you think about them too much, you know, you just always go back to that original spark, you know?
Yeah. My buddy, Tom B, who worked for Central Media for many years, emailed me not too long ago and was like, Soft Spoken Sanity. Have you heard that song in a while? I'm like, no. And I listened to Soft Spoken Sanity. I was like, what a fucking cool song. And like, I kind of like went down a little bit of a memory lane. And when I just got the vinyl, the start of that album, I don't remember it being that fucking epic. And then when it finally kicks in, that riff, that opening riff to Something's Got to Give, holy shit.
Magical.
That's like fucking this kind of shit. But it's still rock and roll.
You pull the lawnmower.
That's the number one thing I had to say about this band, taking me out of the equation. The fucking groove. That was it for me. That's what Seemless is that fucking groove. It was always there.
Pete and I thank you very much.
And Kevin.
Kevin locked in with me, man. Like, you know, Jeff was a great bass player, but he was a guitar player. He played guitar far better than he played bass. And I mean, he knows it as well as we do. I mean, but Kevin knew how to play bass and like him and I just knew he just knew how to lock in with me really well too. So that was a lot of it for the recording of that record. Like the three of us, those tracks that were like live in the room that we kept and then built on. We just fucking rocked them, man. And they weren't rushed. They don't sound rushed. They're just, the tempos are perfect, like on everything. And when I hear like that could have easily been sped up or slowed down, but we were just in a pocket. Like that record's got a pocket on every tune. There's no doubt about it. I think that's the charm of it, you know?
Rock and roll, actual rock and roll.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesse. That means a lot, brother. All these years later, like I love this. This is one of my favorite bands I ever played in, but it was also like I took the reins and was the like driving force in terms of like the beginning of our career and like the management and like tour management and like booking and all that. But when it all came down to it, like it was so fun at the end to just be able to play drums in the band and like have somebody out with us helping us on the road, like, so I didn't have to deal with it and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
you had some reliable, influential people backing you, which is always a big thing for a band. They always say, you know, if you're going to be in a band, you better have also a good sound guy, somebody that can be on tour with you to run sound for you, because people that sometimes at the house venues fuck it up. Get yourself somebody who can get you out of trouble. You know, van broke down, someone's
Angel.
in jail, or someone's going to jail, or
Archangel.
yeah. And then you also want to have, you know, somebody, whether it's a family member or a brother or sister or cousin, somebody in your corner that you can relay your shit to, because let's face it, when you guys come off a tour and you got to decompress, who do you decompress to? You guys usually don't call each other. It's, you know, the wife, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, the family member, the whoever the fuck it is, you know, and that's a big thing. Strong family standpoint, you know, with band members as fallback. And it sounds like you guys generally had a good fucking time with this, though.
Yeah, you also kind of need a guy that can fart on command and make a fart CD for you.
What? Who?
We had that.
That was actually, yeah, Frank. Frank made the CD at the end of the Fu Manchu tour. He made the fart CD, and he gave it, you know, he played it at the club, you know, before, you know, it was like sound check or whatever.
Oh,
and it's like, so he's playing it at the club with Fu Manchu. Everybody's there, and it was just hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean, epic.
But Frank was also, to me, sort of in a weird way, like a coach, like because he just played that role. He was the good advice, and I remember him talking me off the ledge a few times. He just gave a shit. He helped a lot on that tour, and he helped take the pressure off with Derek. And like Derek would be freaking out, and Frank would be like, "I got you, I got this." But yeah, he could fart on command. I've never in my entire life met anyone like that, and they were weird, long, strange fucking farts.
Kevin's fucking losing it up there. See what you missed, Kevin, on tour? See what you missed? Just the fart CD. That should be the next Purchase Street Records release. Frank's fart CD.
Yeah, and there was like, what, 50 tracks? Like, it was ridiculous.
Dude, you know what the funniest thing? Frank had been on this episode of Made on MTV.
Yep.
And everywhere we go, nobody knew us, but everybody would be like, "Hey,
that's
Made."
right.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, that was that's how we ended up sleeping on that guy's floor that freaked out. He's like, holy shit, is that Frank from Made? Like that's how we got a place to sleep.
Dude, Frank would get more people recognizing him from Made. I was like, the fuck, man? Like, you're in the band. The dude's like our tour manager. Set up my drums perfect every night, by the way. He was like, and he'd have two tequila sunrises waiting for me too every night, man. He was awesome. I was like my thing back then. But man, he was a character to have on tour. I was so blessed to have him out with, especially with Dave, because they have a wicked awesome dynamic as brothers. Like the two of them together are something else.
Well, it was, you know, I just never forget that one particular night where like Jesse was freaking out, and of course Matty Y was just kind of like, "Oh, what's going on? What should we do?" You know, Matt was so mellow, and then Jesse's kind of freaking out, and I go out to the van, and Dave and Frank are out there, and they're laughing, they're just giggling their asses off because they think the whole thing is so funny. You know, it's like we just had the gamut of emotions between people. You know, Jesse was freaked, Matty kind of cared. I think Derek was asleep, and then Dave and Frank are out in the van. They just think it's the funniest thing ever.
we appreciate people.
Yeah.
That's it. Boy, that's it.
Good way to put it.
It's perfect.
Holy
oh my
shit.
God, that was amazing. I think we could end it right there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
We're actually coming up on a couple hours here, so we're gonna wrap this up. Just remember, everybody, that the first Seemless record is coming out as a re-release, first time ever on vinyl, and it's March 12th. You can actually go through Revelation Records if you want to order it. If it's still available, I know there was only like 500 copies that are being made. And hats off to Roger from Purchase Street Records, teaming up with
Maxing out his credit card.
yeah, maxing with Derek, maxing out his credit card for releasing this. I think you know what I kind of like to end on. I'd like to kind of have you all say something to the fans, because I know you guys wouldn't have been where you are or be where you are now with the fans getting more and more involved. You want to say something to the fans out there, Seemless?
Dude, like, this band was my baby, and everybody that cares about this band, I just can't thank you enough. Like, I did this because I loved it. And Pete and I, we didn't, in all of us, we didn't have these grandiose, like, plans for the band. It just happened. But like, to see it grow through the years, I'm just really grateful for that. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. More than you'll ever know.
Indeed. Yeah. Thanks. This band was definitely a huge transition in my career and sort of helped me figure out how to start to try to learn how to sing, actually. So that was the start of everything for me. And then finding the blues and really finding my voice and my scales. And this was the start of it. So it's cool to have that moment captured in time. And, even though it's not perfect, it's real, it's raw, and there's soul behind everything that we did. And I'm super proud of the genuine quality of the music and the people and the vibe of this band. There's no fakeness at all. And I'm proud of that. So thank you for supporting.
Yeah, likewise. All I can say is thanks. I mean, I feel like I came into the band as a fan. And, like I said earlier, I'm just super grateful for being able to be a part of it and knowing all you guys and meeting fans along the way. So that's it. Just thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, it's one of the funnest bands I've ever played in. It was great to branch out to a different style and, have it be embraced. So thanks.
Was a fun band to be in, especially if you looked over during the first song and you saw Pete holding himself up on the wall. Or if he was in a totally different tuning than everyone else. Those are the best shows. But, if you were lucky enough.
I think that happened on that first Paradise show. I think that's the first thing that went wrong. Like, I tuned to a different tuning. Like, it just fucking went downhill from there.
The best was you would just look at all of us and be like,
Maybe you guys are wrong. Who knows?
Yeah.
Is it me? It's him, isn't it? It's me. Is it me?
Yeah.
Is it him?
Those are my best memories, and there was definitely a great group of fans that were there since day one, and they stayed there the whole time, even after I'd left the band. And that says a lot. That's a real good testament to this band. And I think we were like different for our time, sounded a little bit different. It was a combination of a lot of different influences that people weren't, really trying out. So it, the fans were a big part of keeping us going through that.
Only thing we all ever talked about was making the most timeless music we could so that it would hold up. That was it.
Dave?
Well, for me, I'm very thankful for these guys for having trust and faith in me to go out there and play with them and do the tour. And as far as the fans are concerned, they're awesome. I'm still friends with, a handful of them. They still communicate with me. And the experience of being with these guys, for me, was like a real life. I felt like I was in a gang, kind of like Freaks and Geeks, or that movie Stand By Me. Or even better, it kind of reminded me of this movie called Outside Providence.
I was wondering if someone was going to mention that at all.
Oh my God.
I just watched that too, and I was like, holy fuck, there he is. There he is.
I made a wish. I was like, I just want to have a group like the guys in Outside Providence, and be in a band like that. And it turns out I actually was.
Oh no.
Jesse's 15 minutes of fame right there, man.
Oh yeah.
Jesse, I didn't know you, but we had a good mutual friend. I was in a death metal band in Providence in like 98, 99. And it was with Jeremy Gravel. And
God.
He was like, dude, we got to go to the movies. My buddy Jesse's in this movie Outside Providence. And I didn't actually meet you till like the first Seemless practice years later. So
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, I as a fan am appreciative that you guys got together to do this record because I associate music with points in my life. I can literally tell you where I was, what I was doing, who I was with when I hear certain music, certain songs, And I remember the first time going to see you guys playing live and not knowing at all what it was going to be and standing in the front. And after the set was over, I think I said this to Pete. It was a long time ago. I said, this is totally different from the Overcast stuff. I said, this is really, really, really going to shine. Like I said, this is cool. This is very, very different from what you've done before. And it's awesome. And I think Pete was just like, cool. Thanks, man. That's the way we were back in the day. We were just like, cool. Do you bring your video camera?
That's how Pete is all the time too,
Cool. He's like, yeah.
Hey, cool, thanks, man.
But listen, let's wrap this up.
What do you want from me?
Yeah, it's me, it's him. We got to wrap this up. We're going on 2 hours here. I have been very blessed to be joined by Kevin, Jeff, Jesse, as well as Pete, Dave, and of course, Amy. No, the D-Rock down there. Derek from Seemless. Thank you guys so much for taking some of your time off from your busy schedules to put this together and to I think it was great. This was a lot of fun. The stories were great. And don't forget, everybody, the re-release of the first Seemless record comes out on March 12th through Revelation Records. It's being put out by Purchase Street Records, first time on vinyl. So go to Revelation Records to buy it. Only 500 copies. And I think this record really needs to be experienced on vinyl. My name is Lord Gates. It's Rapture Radio. Thank you very much. I'm going to bid goodbye to everybody across the board here. Thank you very much for joining us, and get that record.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Hey, great seeing all you guys. I love you guys.
Bye, guys. This is a blast.
Everybody.
Thank you all for doing this, man. It was an absolute pleasure.
Totally.
Awesome.
We should do this in person. Drink beer
that'd be great, man.
And just think about memories.